Ever wondered who wrote one of the world's earliest manuals on power? In the 4th century BCE, Kautilya, also known as Chanakya, composed the Arthashastra, a masterpiece of politics, economics, and statecraft. This was not just theory, but a practical guide for rulers, especially Chandragupta Maurya, the first emperor of the Mauryan dynasty. It explained how to govern, defend, and expand an empire. Unlike lofty ideals, the Arthashastra embraced realism, what a king must do to survive and succeed. It remains one of history's most brilliant works on strategy and governance. Did you know Arthashastra means the science of wealth and polity? Kautilya believed that the stability of a kingdom rested on strong economics, law, and administration. He outlined everything from taxation, trade, and agriculture to justice and diplomacy. No detail was too small for his analysis. For him, wealth was the backbone of power, and without it, no empire could thrive. The Arthashastra became a blueprint for governance, balancing the needs of people with the ambitions of kings. It was a manual of empire building centuries ahead of its time. What if morality was less important than survival? Kautilya taught that rulers must sometimes act with cunning, deception, and even ruthlessness. For him, the end goal was stability and strength of the state, not moral perfection. He advised kings to use spies, alliances, and manipulation when necessary. This philosophy of realpolitik has led many to compare him with Machiavelli. Though Kautilya lived nearly 2,000 years earlier, his vision was clear. In politics, survival and power come first. Morality may guide personal life, but the ruler must prioritize the security of the realm. Did you know Kautilya saw the king as both protector and servant of the people? A ruler was expected to be disciplined, just, and committed to the welfare of his subjects. At the same time, the king had to be cunning enough to secure his throne. Kautilya wrote that the happiness of the people is the happiness of the king, but he also warned that weak kings would lose both respect and power. The ideal king was wise, firm, and far-sighted, someone who could balance justice with authority. His role was sacred, yet grounded in practicality. Ever thought spies could decide the fate of an empire? Kautilya's Arthashastra dedicated entire chapters to the art of espionage. He advised kings to use informants disguised as ascetics, merchants, or even household servants. Spies were to gather intelligence, expose plots, and spread disinformation when needed. For Kautilya, power was not just about armies. It was about knowledge, secrets, and strategy. The empire's survival often depended on unseen battles fought in shadows. This early intelligence network became a model for later states across history. What if war was only one part of strategy? Kautilya believed that a wise ruler should exhaust diplomacy before choosing battle. He described 6 methods of foreign policy: peace, war, neutrality, alliance, double policy, and conquest. A king had to read the intentions of allies and enemies carefully, shifting policies as needed. War, when necessary, was to be fought decisively, but diplomacy was often the sharper weapon. His balance of war and negotiation makes the Arthashastra one of the earliest and most practical guides to international relations. Did you know Kautilya considered economics the lifeblood of the state? He outlined systems of taxation, agriculture, trade regulation, and mining, stressing that prosperity strengthened kingdoms more than war alone. Farmers and merchants were to be protected, for their wealth fed the empire. Corruption was to be punished severely, as dishonest officials could weaken the entire realm. By linking economics with politics, Kautilya created a vision of sustainable governance. His advice sounds strikingly modern. A strong economy is the foundation of national power. What if justice were the anchor of an empire? Kautilya insisted that no kingdom could survive without law and order. He described detailed systems of courts, punishments, and legal codes. While strict, his laws were designed to maintain discipline and fairness. Justice protected the weak, deterred crime, and preserved the king's authority. Yet, Kautilya also allowed flexibility. Punishments could be adjusted depending on circumstances. His legal vision combined order with pragmatism, ensuring that justice served both ruler and people. Did you know the Arthashastra balanced power with responsibility? While Kautilya often stressed cunning and strength, he also demanded that rulers uphold dharma, duty. A king who ignored morality would lose the loyalty of his subjects. His philosophy was not cruelty for its own sake, it was discipline guided by purpose. Kautilya believed rulers must protect the weak, promote welfare, and guard against tyranny. His teachings remind us that true power lies in responsibility. Without it, even the greatest empire could collapse. What if India had its own Machiavelli long before Europe? Scholars often compare Kautilya's Arthashastra to Machiavelli's The Prince, written nearly 2 millennia later. Both works emphasized realism, cunning, and the importance of power in politics. But unlike Machiavelli, Kautilya included economics, law, and ethics in his vision. His manual was not just about surviving, it was about building a system that endured. In many ways, Kautilya's insights were broader and deeper, making the Arthashastra a timeless masterpiece of political science. Did you know the Arthashastra was lost for centuries? After the fall of the Mauryan Empire, the text disappeared from common knowledge. For nearly 1,000 years, it was forgotten. Then, in 1904, an Indian scholar named Arthashastra rediscovered and translated it, shocking the academic world. Suddenly, the world realized that India had produced a brilliant work on politics long before Europe's classical thinkers. The rediscovery gave Kautilya the recognition he deserved as one of the greatest minds in political history. What if a 2,000-year-old text still guides leaders today? The Arthashastra remains relevant in the study of politics, economics, and military strategy. Its principles of diplomacy, intelligence, and governance are studied in universities and even applied in modern statecraft. Kautilya's vision proves that wisdom never dies. His teachings remind us that leadership is not about titles, but about foresight, courage, and adaptability. From ancient palaces to modern parliaments, the echoes of the Arthashastra still guide rulers. Kautilya left behind not just a book, but a manual for power that transcends time. What if one strategist shaped the foundation of India's first great empire? Kautilya was not only an author, but also the chief advisor to Chandragupta Maurya. His strategies helped overthrow the Nanda dynasty and establish the Mauryan rule across much of India. By combining vision with ruthless precision, he turned theory into reality. The Arthashastra was not just words, it was the playbook behind one of history's most powerful empires. Kautilya's ability to weave economics, war, and diplomacy into one system proved that ideas can build nations. His mind was the architect of an empire that still inspires Indian history today. What if a teacher's wisdom could guide rulers for millennia? Kautilya's Arthashastra continues to resonate not just in India, but across the world. Its principles echo in political science, military academies, and even modern governance. His vision was more than survival. It was about balance, wealth with justice, power with duty, ambition with responsibility. Kautilya's words remind us that leadership is never easy, but with wisdom, it can endure. The Arthashastra is not just a book of the past, it is a voice of power that speaks to every age, proving that true strategy never dies. What if Kautilya's wisdom was never meant for one empire alone? His Arthashastra reaches beyond the Mauryan throne, offering lessons for every ruler, leader, or thinker in history. It shows that governance is not luck, but design, not chance, but strategy. From boardrooms to battlefields, his principles still find echoes today. The text is more than ancient advice. It is a mirror of human ambition and responsibility. Kautilya's legacy proves that true strategy is eternal, guiding those who dare to lead with vision and courage.